So today I'm going to show you how to remove scenery objects, which will allow you to be able to create more realistic roadside FARPs. So you don't have objects like concrete barriers, barrier walls, and telephone poles, light poles, and trees that are around the roads really interfering with your operations, your ability to land. Now, in dense urban areas, as you will see here, um, the process can sometimes remove some extra objects you really didn't want to get rid of. So you just have to be careful about how much of an area you select, along with sometimes what around the area uh, could possibly get removed in addition to the stuff you actually want to get removed. Um, and in some maps, like the Caucasus map, areas there's a few areas of the map where the trees are just hard baked into the map. They don't actually are removable by any means. Uh, Most of the removable trees are ones that are found near towns, rivers, etc. On some of the newer maps, such as Syria, most of the trees, about 80 to 90%, if not all of them, are able to be removed by this process. So, with that, let's show you the basics of just how to remove the scenery in the first place. So first, we're going to place down our road FARP just so that we know where we want to work. So we're going to take an invisible FARP. We're going to place it here next to this intersection, about the midway point of our runway running from here to this bridge. So in order to encompass this road, we're going to use a trigger zone. We're going to use one of the quad point trigger zones. So we're going to create one, select quad point, and we're going to edit. And we're going to set the box to encompass the road and only the road section we want to remove the scenery from. And as I zoom in, you can see that we have street lamps, telephone poles, little trees, all along this stretch of road. Now, obviously the trigger zone by itself is not going to do everything. So we're going to go into our triggers menu, set a new trigger, and in this case I want you to see what's being removed. So I'm going to set time more, 5 seconds. You can obviously use the mission start to remove it as soon as the mission starts. And you're going to go down until you see scenery remove object zone. If you want to make some pre-destroyed buildings or use the damage textures that are baked into the map, you can use scenery destruction zone, set the destruction level, and set which trigger zone you want it to apply to. But in this case, we're going to say remove object zone. We're going to say all. We can remove trees or objects only, but in this case, we want to remove both. So we're going to say all, apply to this trigger zone, the only trigger zone we have, and that's it. So that will remove all of these scenery objects. Now, obviously, this FARP needs a couple of vehicles in order for it to work. So we're going to add in our refueler Hemet. We're going to add in our M939 heavy truck. Oops, added a waypoint. So we're going to back these on the other side of the railroad tracks so they don't get hit, hopefully. With that, we should have an operational FARP. Last thing for our test, place an F16, client, set it to ground hot, and set it facing down the road. Now, the final thing that you don't want to forget to do, and this is something that a lot of people don't realize unless you try to actually land on a road with traffic on it, is that traffic actually has collision models. They're not good, and they don't have to be. They just have to be a box that hits the aircraft and damages it. So in order to prevent that, we're going to go here into the mission options menu. We're going to go to civilian traffic here. We're going to enforce it, and we're going to set the level to off. This way, anyone who joins the mission, including yourself, no matter what your setting is, high, low, medium, whatever, it's going to force it to be off. This way, you won't have any of the trucks and trains running around, and that'll keep you from getting hit by them when you try to land on what used to be their highway, and you're now making it your runway. So in order to do that, you just enforce it and select whatever in the world you want to enforce. And so now with that, let's take a look at what our road FARP is going to look like. All right, so we're loaded in. I'm going to press fly. And approximately 2, 1. All the scenery has been cleared. That building's still there. And we now have a very clear road from which to take off and land on. In fact, let's do so right now. Obviously, the same thing is true with the runway as with the road FARP. You want to make certain you have enough runway to take off and land whatever you decide to put here. A-10s, F-16s, SU-25s, whatever. Always make certain you have enough straight road on both ends to be able to accommodate takeoff and landing of the aircraft.
Altitude.
Just coming down. Really gonna have to use hard brakes to stop on this because we only have 5,000 feet and we used a good quarter of it just floating down. As you can see, without any of the guardrails, lampposts, and everything else, it's quite easy to take off and land the aircraft from this road, which is a 4-lane highway. So, I hope that helps you guys in constructing road FARPs without terrain obstacles, and I will see you in the next video.